and running. So, welcome officially to this month's masterclass, Building a Million Dollar Network with Your LinkedIn Profile. And in particular, how to use your LinkedIn profile in a way that's going to generate you business consistently. Not just every now and then, but have a consistent system that allows you to not only build your profile properly, but to be able to use your profile properly. So, this isn't about how to be able to post content. This isn't about what your profile should look like. Happy to answer those questions afterwards. But to me, the most important thing that you can do with your LinkedIn profile is grow it with the right sorts of people and get into conversations with those people. And I'm going to show you how to do it in a way that only takes you like 20 minutes a day, if that. And you'll have more conversations with the right sorts of people that can actually grow your business. So let's get ourselves away properly. If I'm to ask you and use the chat box for me, people watching the recording, obviously you're just going to answer the question. How do you get most of your business right now? So if I was to ask you, how do you get most of your business right now? What's your response? Right? Throw it in the chat box for me. What's your response? So word of mouth, referrals, referral partners, organic, Google, perfect. Right? So the majority of times, and same with what we've got here, I reckon service professionals, probably 75, 80% of the time, rely on word of mouth and referrals. The unfortunate part is they either don't get enough or they don't have a way to be able to make it, I suppose, in the end, consistent business growth. I hear people say all the time, you can't grow a business on referrals. And I tend to agree because most people don't get enough referrals. But if you're getting 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 referrals every single month, of course you can grow a business on referrals. If you're getting your networks being able to talk about you, promote you, open doors for you, that you're getting a good 15, 20 people a month to be able to get exposure to, you're always going to be able to pick up new clients. And that's what this is about. This is about how do you increase your referrals? How do you increase your word of mouth? How do you increase the engagement with your network so that they talk about you to others? They share you to others. They promote you to others. Because that's, in essence, what business is about. The more people that get to actually know what you're about, the more people that actually has the potential to buy from you. So your network is your net worth. You've probably heard it many a times. Okay? Again, the problem I want to solve for you today is how to actually have a network that grows your business rather than just having a network for the sake of having people. Okay? So let's dive into the current thinking, I think, of how most people think of LinkedIn. So LinkedIn started very much as a recruitment type platform. It was for people to be able to find jobs. And then as with just about everything, marketing people got involved. They could see that they could grow networks, they could get more eyeballs, and therefore it changed. And it's an unbelievable business tool. In fact, it's the world's largest free database. So any business that has their people on LinkedIn that aren't active on it every day is just missing out on exposure. But to me, LinkedIn's not a social network. Right? It's not a place similar to Facebook and Instagram where you just simply post whatever you feel like posting. Do you need to connect with your people? 100%. And sometimes the easiest way to connect with people isn't by being businessy and logical, but it's actually by sharing yourself, because that's what people connect to. So a bunch of people see it simply as a social network. I sort of just go, that's the tip of the iceberg. So as we come down, LinkedIn has very much now become a lead generation tool. And you have many businesses that go, we'll use your LinkedIn profile and we'll get you 60 appointments a week. Couldn't even think of anything worse than having 60 appointments a week. Right? But that's what LinkedIn and that's what many businesses have latched onto to say, hey, we'll go through your LinkedIn and we'll just message people day after day, hour after hour, and we'll get you 60 people, 40 people, 100 people, whatever their number is, into your calendar. The only problem with that is they don't know you. Therefore, it's really hard for them to like you, let alone trust you. So much of that time is wasted. So if we get to how I'd love you to see LinkedIn, yes, it's a social network. Yes, it's a great place for you to get exposure. Yes, it's a great place for you to be able to share your genius and show people how you actually help them. Yes, it's a great place to be able to get business. LinkedIn is the world's largest free database. You can tap into anyone you want, anywhere you want. And when you think about it, how many clients do you really need to have a really successful business? And for most service professionals, it might be like, hey, if I had 50, if I had 20, if I had 100, we don't need the billions that actually are on LinkedIn. So let's take our thinking to combine it all. The problem is this, and this is where the lead generation thinking problem comes in, that the people down in the red zone simply use LinkedIn as what we call a numbers game. So they do things such as send in, or color, they do things such as send in cold messages. We all get them, where it's, hey, I do this, you must have that problem, come and also solve it for you. Or send in emails. Now, LinkedIn loves those people because they've got to pay for every single in-mail credit. So they want those people existing. But if you don't know someone, it makes it really hard for you to like them and trust them or feel any sort of connection to them. So therefore, are you really going to just all of a sudden go, oh yeah, here's $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, go for it? Of course not. So the yellow zone, and this is where I reckon most people sit, they see LinkedIn as exposure. So they play what we call the exposure game, where they do lots of posting, content. They do lots of liking of other people's posts. They do lots of commenting on other people's posts, all so they can get their name and what they do constantly seen. Now, not a bad strategy, because obviously the more people that see you, the better. I did an experiment a couple of months ago where for 7 days, all I did was just post content. I didn't do any conversations. And we've got like 10,000 connections. And 262 people out of my 10,000 saw that content over that week. LinkedIn is no different to Facebook or Instagram and Meta. They've got to look after shareholders. Therefore, they need people paying. And a great way to get people paying is to say, hey, promote your content and we'll show it to more people. So the exposure game, it's hard, it's slow. Do you need to be posting and putting up content? Yeah, but not every day and not as the only strategy you have. So the green zone, the first one is what we call the engagement game. And that's where we start chats. And how can we start chats on LinkedIn? Every day, you can go to My Network and Celebrations, and you can see whose birthday it is, whose work anniversary it is, who's just changed jobs. And you can simply say, hey, Tara, wishing you a happy birthday. Hope you have a great year ahead. Hi, Amanda, congratulations on the work anniversary. Hope all is going well. And a lot of people do that, which is fantastic. But then when Tara says, thanks, Michael, the conversation stops. And it's like, oh, well, that was nice. But now what? So that first green zone in the engagement game, most people get stuck in what I call the nice chit chat. We don't want nice chit chat. That doesn't grow your business. It'll get you seen. That's important. But we want to be able to jump over the line into what we call the profitable conversations. And that's what we're going to run through with you. How to make sure that you turn nice chit chat into profitable conversations. And that simply just means that you have conversations with purpose. And the purpose part is that you get to either invite or ask at the end of your conversation. I'm going to go through the flow with you so you can see it firsthand. Realize every single person on LinkedIn wants the same thing. They want to get seen. They want to be in conversations with people because it helps them to reach their end goal. And whether that's a new job, whether that's new clients, whether that's being seen, whether that's strategic partners, every single one of us, we have a goal, don't we? And when you get into conversations with other people, find out what their goal is and try to help them, it's amazing what will actually happen for you and your business too. So bringing ourselves a step back, and let's just start here. When we talk about building this $1 million network, it's made up of a few things. Now, for most people, they're very honed in on, I want to grow my business. And to grow my business, I need new clients. I need more clients. So what do they see LinkedIn as? Clients, 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 clients. It's my big pond where I can fish for my clients. And 100% in your $1 million network, you need potential clients. So if I ask you, who is your ideal client? You should be able to say they are real estate agents in Sydney, Brisbane, and Melbourne who are looking to be able to get more listings. Good, really specific. They are business owners who love to travel and need me to be able to book their travel for them. You should be really clear on who your potential clients are, because 100% you want them in your network. But they're not the only people you want in your network. You also want people who could become strategic partners. So they're the people who sell to the same people you sell to. And you don't compete with each other, because now you could share each other's networks. You could share each other's content. You could tag your network into their posts. Like, there's so many things that you can do with people who have the same type of client you have, but you don't compete with each other. And we call them your strategic partners. Then you also want in your network great people that you have come across that are probably never going to become your client, but they're going to be great door openers. They just know lots of people. And when you've got a really good relationship with them, they're always happy to be able to introduce you to other people or try to find ways to be able to help you. So you can see all three of those things. What does it help us do? It helps us to be able to grow our business. Now, I'd much prefer to come across someone in my LinkedIn network who has exactly the same clients that I have, that might be able to bring on 20, 30 new clients over the course of a year, versus just simply trying to sell to them. One person versus 30, bit of a no-brainer for all of us. But that has to be then a change in your thinking. Because if you only see your LinkedIn pond as they're my potential clients, you're missing out on all these other pieces of gold. And trust me, there are lots of pieces of gold sitting right now in your LinkedIn profile. We've just got to change the thinking. So who else should be in our $1 million network? people that we rely on for support. Now, to me, if you've got people in your network that don't fit into one of those 4 categories, I ask why. What do you hope to happen? And that's the problem with most people's network, especially on LinkedIn. In the early days, people just said, oh, connect. Someone came and said, oh, I'd love to connect to you. And you went, yeah, of course, because we wanted numbers. But the problem is we don't actually want numbers. I see so many people with 100 connections, with 500 connections, having an amazing business, 7-figure businesses, just because of those people and the depth of relationship. It's not about how many. It is about how you deepen the relationship with those people. We're about to get into it. So if you've only got 100 people in your network right now, and they're the right 100, like every single one of those people could either be a potential client, could be a strategic partner, happy to open doors for you, I'll guarantee you will have a really thriving business when you know how to engage and activate those relationships. Versus somebody who's just gone and connected with every single person and they're not their ideal client. They don't have the same sorts of networks or clients that they have. And now they've just got a lot of dead space. So they have to waste so much time going remove connection every day. Because when you actually ask yourself, am I likely to do anything with this person? The answer is no. And if the answer is no, there's no point in them being in your network. So let's take ourselves forward. Just quickly, in terms of growing any business whatsoever, Tara is an advisable to call your network. 1,000,000% it is. Most of the time, when it becomes someone's birthday and we say, and I'll show you how that happens, we say happy birthday to someone and they say, thanks, Michael. And I go, oh, I don't remember that person. I look at their profile and I see that they're not one of those 4 things. I go, oh, well, that was the last birthday message we're going to send to them. Remove connection. And that's how we constantly make sure that we've got the right sort of network. Okay. And the simple question I constantly ask ourselves is that, am I likely to ever do something with that person? And if the answer is no, then it's like, well, why are they there? And I know why, because the ego goes, oh, it's nice to have 10,000 people versus having 5,000 people. But it just means that you've got more people to talk to. And we don't need that. That's annoying. Like that's time consuming. So we want a really honed in targeted network. Okay, so great question. So let's look at growing a business. 4 things have to happen. Don't care what business you have, the same 4 things happen for every single business. The first thing you have to do is you have to bring people into your world. Now, in marketing talk, they will call that your pipeline or your funnel. Hate both the words, but at least we're all on the same page. In essence, you have to create your audience. Okay? So that's the first thing that you have to have, that has to happen no matter what your business is right now. If you don't have people who potentially could become your client, eventually you don't have a business. That's just that simple. So from there, what needs to happen? It's like you've got all these people now in your audience. So you have to nurture them. I don't think coming to any one of the 30 of you that are with me that I could go, hey, did someone just like instantly go, you know what? Just because Tara's at the top of my screen here. Hey, Tara, here's my credit card. Just charge it whatever you want. Like, it'd be amazing. It doesn't happen. Generally, someone has to believe that Tara can actually make their life better. And the only way that someone can even ask that question is they have to feel a connection with them. And I say feel on purpose because that's all it is. just quickly, I'm not going to go deep into it. Two different parts of the brain. The red brain, which is very logical, analytical, it understands language. Then the green brain, the emotional brain, the feeling brain. It makes all human decisions. But it doesn't understand words. It doesn't understand language. It's only feeling based. So for anyone to work with you, they'll justify it with logic. You hear salespeople say this all the time. People buy off emotion and justify with logic. Well, yeah, because that's how our brains work. So for someone to go, you know what? I reckon Shay could really help me. You know what? I reckon Craig could really help me. It was a feeling they got. And you probably have people who actually said, you know what? I don't know what it was, but it just felt right working with you. It's 100% correct, because that's how our brains work. So after you bring people into your audience, you have to nurture them. Think you know where I'm going? Not with boring logical things. You have to nurture them to be able to create connection. It is about being able to deepen the relationship, because that is what allows them to feel connected to you. Like this thing of they've got to know you, followed by like you, followed by trust you. Like, yeah, but what's trust? It's just a word. Trust is actually a feeling. And you can only get that feeling the more connected you feel to the other person. It's just that simple. So the more time you spend with someone, the better the connection is. Therefore, the deeper the relationship will be. Therefore, the more willingness they are to actually help you. Probably the number one question I get from people most days is simply, how do I get my strategic partners to refer more business to me? And I say, okay, so what are you doing to be able to help your strategic partners refer more business? I send them an email once a month seeing if they've got anyone that I can help. Good connection. Right there, that's your problem. Where I would be trying to do 2-3 things a month with them that are just fun, because they're the shared moments that deepen the connection. And now watch what they do for you. Probably the biggest problem for most business owners is themselves and the way they think. They're in the wrong part of the brain. But that red cortex, logical, analytical part of the brain is the part that helps us to survive. So universe wasn't real kind to us the way they set it up, but now you know. So once you attract, you have to nurture. Convert, I hate the word, but it's what is used and what people understand. I would much prefer see if there's a fit. That's really the next step. See if there's a fit. And then you've got to be able to deliver. So I'm going to focus in right here with you guys today. How are we going to attract? How are we going to nurture so that you actually have people go, hey, can you help me? And then you can see whether you can actually help them or not. Some you can, some you can't. But it would be amazing to have people every single day simply saying, hey, can I see whether you can help me? Rather than sitting there going, oh, I don't know where my next person is going to come from, which unfortunately is common. Let's move into the nuts and bolts. Let's give you a plan. There are 3 things that need to happen. We need to be able to connect. We need to be able to converse, which then allows us to grow. I'm going to go through each of them with you. But understand that everything you do on LinkedIn should be about getting into conversations. Now, don't get this mixed up. Getting into conversations to sell. No, that's not what I said. There are some people who just simply are not going to be your clients. they might be great referral sources. They might be great door openers. So I want to be in conversations with them too. So you've got to see getting into conversations as simply, I don't know where this is going to go, but gee, it could be a really good opportunity for me. Hey, I'll come to it, Tara. So let's build this out. First step is the connect step up the top. So don't worry about the whole drawing. I just have it just about to save us time. Otherwise, it takes me forever. But let's just start up here for now. Connect. And it's about being able to firstly understand who is this ideal targeted network that you want. Who is this $1 million network that you want? And you've got to be crystal clear on that. So you then end up going, okay, potential clients, who are they? And you write it down. So I'll just do me. I'll go, they're service professionals. They're in these locations: Australia, US, Canada, New Zealand. And you just make a little profile of who your exact people are. So I know that I can go and connect with our service professionals. They're the sorts of people I want into our network. I also want people who work with service professionals. Now, I'm very fortunate that a lot of service professionals who could be our clients are also great strategic partners because they also work with other service professionals. That won't be the case for every single person. So then you're going to ask yourself, okay, who are my partners? And you get clear on those people. And then in your wider network, they tend to be people you connect with that you've met. If you go to networking events, if you go to referral group associations, and you connect with those people that you got on with really well. I call these individual campaigns. So we've got a potential client campaign, we've got a strategic partner campaign, then we've got our wider network campaign. And we've got 3 different campaigns that are going to create us a $1 million network. So LinkedIn allows you to connect to 100 people, send 100 connection requests a week. So you sit there and you send 100 connections a week. Now, don't use the LinkedIn template message because it's horrible. Don't say nothing because that's not deepening the relationship. You don't have to explain why you want to connect because that just looks like you're trying too hard. A simple message would just simply go, hey, Shay, would love to connect. Done. Shay's going to look at our profile and go, oh, yeah, that looks like a good person to connect with. Connect. Or he's going to look at our profile and go, oh, no, don't want to. And not. I don't care. Either way's great. So you could potentially add 40, 50, 60 new people a week into your network just by sending out 100 each week. Pretty simple to do. So the connect part is pretty easy. And you need, I don't accept pretty much very many incoming connection requests. It's always me finding my ideal people. The converse part's where the magic starts to happen. So there's a few things that need to happen. Always want to connect. It'll start off with follow, and then it'll allow you to hit connect. Follow just means you see their content. Connect means that you can actually be in conversations with them. So you always want to connect because we always want to get into conversations. If you follow, you'd have to use an in-mail credit to send them a message. Versus when you're actually a connection, then you can send messages to one another. Okay, good. So let's get into Converse. Converse has a number of things that need to take place that allow you to get into conversations. So the first thing, and this comes a little bit then, Tara, to your question before, do the conversations have to be simply direct message, or can a connection be done more in the feed? So the first thing we want to do is we want to share our genius. So every time we share our genius, which is just sharing your content, and someone likes it or comments on it, loves it, we want to get into conversation with that person. We want to be able to go, hey, Barbara, thanks so much for the love. How are things going at your end? Hey, Eric, thanks for the comment. Are you working on anything exciting at the moment? Like every single person that engages with your content, in essence, they've started the relationship back with you because they've engaged with your content. So don't just go, oh, well, that was nice. They engaged with our content and do nothing. Start talking to them. Second one, front of mind greetings. I'll just quickly show you from my phone because that's easier. So let me just bring up a second screen. And when you come to your LinkedIn, if you come to My Network, go Manage My Network, go to Connections. Oh, my apologies, they've changed it. They've just recently changed it too, because I did this just the other day. Maybe they've taken it completely off the phone and you've got to now do it on the desktop. Okay, that didn't work, did it? So on your desktop, I'll see if I can find it on the phone before we finish. If you go to My Network, and then under My Network, there's a thing called Celebrations. Celebrations is who's having a birthday today, who's having a work anniversary, who's changing roles. Okay? And we want to be able to talk to those people. We want to wish them a happy birthday. We want to wish them an opportunity to be able to good luck with your work anniversary, etc. We call them front of mind greetings. So every single person in your network, you want to, like, it's just a free hit at being able to get into a conversation with them. And because probably 80% of people will respond back with thanks, it gives you an opportunity then to keep the conversation going. I'll get into the conversation flow next, into what to actually do. Now, there are some people you don't want to continue the conversation with. That's fine. Don't. There might be some people that you look and you go, I didn't even realize I was still part of my network. Remove connection so you don't have the message next year. That's okay. There might be some people you just choose not to send that message to. That's fine too. But you know every day you've got the potential to be in conversations. Now, you could do this not only on LinkedIn, you could do this on every social platform that you have, because they all give you notifications on whose birthday it is today. What I want you to see it as is just simply an opportunity for you to be able to get into a conversation with someone in your network. And it's such an easy way to be able to get into that conversation. Okay? So perfect. Thank you for the detectives. It's under not celebrations anymore. It's under catch up. So thank you very much. We've had a few changes even as recent the last 24 hours. So thank you. So the third one is what we call just simple touch points. I know Our mortgage brokers send a simple end of financial year little message. I'm just going to make up a name. Hey, Mark, I hope you made it through that. Made it through the end of financial year craziness. How are things at your end? And they send that to all of their accountants in their network. Christmas time, we send message to every one of our first connections. We started the start of December. Hey, Pauline, thought I'd get in early. Have an amazing Christmas and holiday. Can't wait to catch you in 2026. There are so many just different touch point campaigns you could use to help you get back into conversations with people. So let's now look quickly at the conversation flow. Okay. So the first thing that needs to happen within our conversation flow is we need to appear. And that's what the initial message is. It's like, I've appeared. Tara gets a happy birthday message from me. She doesn't like them, so she might not respond. Or because she now has spent 60 minutes with Michael, maybe I'm the only one she responds to. And she says, thanks, Michael. But what I have done is I have appeared. Now, they can, at this point, can choose to either continue the conversation or ignore us. Either way is fine. Let's say then Tara continues the conversation and she just simply goes, thanks, Michael, or that's really kind of you, or thanks for thinking of me. It won't ever be much more than that. It can't be. Because as Tara put in her comments, hey, I get 30 of these every single time it's my birthday. And I know that people are just doing it, hopefully, to be able to get me my business. So they're always very wary. So the next part is what we call connect. And the purpose of that is to be able to deepen the bond. So when we're in the connect part of our conversation, we want to be able to go back maybe 3 to 4 times to be able to create connection. So the majority of the time, it's going to be personal. I don't want to talk business. So it might look like this. I'll just continue with Tara. Happy birthday message was sent to Tara. Tara said, thanks, Michael. I then went, absolute pleasure. Did you get up to anything exciting to celebrate? Tara goes, no, not really. Just spent time with family. It was nice to just relax and take a night off. That's a fairly common response I'd get back. So I go, brilliant. Great to hear. Then I might look at Tara's profile. Tara, quickly throw in the chat box for me. Whereabouts are you from? So now I look at Tara's profile, and Tara's in Sydney. I'm just going to make it up. I see that Tara, oh no, we'll leave it at that. I see on Tara's profile that she's in Sydney. I go, oh, I see you're in Sydney also. I'm over on Northern Beaches. Whereabouts are you? Tara goes, I'm in the Blue Mountains. I go, glad it's you and not me. Is it snowing there yet? We're just building bond. And then from there, it only needs to be 3 or 4 times. His next part is about more so me getting curious to be able to see where they fit. And what I mean by where they fit is, are they a potential client? Are they a strategic partner? Or are they simply going to be a door opener? So then I might go to Tara at this stage. I go, so what sort of clients are you looking for at the moment? So I can see on Tara's profile that she's an ABC. And that could be a potential client or a strategic partner for us. I don't know. I haven't looked at Tara's profile, so I'm making this up. Stay with me. And Tara responds. She says, oh, well, we're really looking for dog training businesses at the moment. I go, oh, perfect. In fact, I was actually speaking to someone the other day, Tanel, who does websites for dog trainers. Would that be a good connection for you? Tara goes, yeah, thanks. And I might ask a handful of questions in the curious part before I come on to the last bit, which is invite or ask. And depending on what Tara is, would depend on how I invite or ask. If Tara's a potential client, I might say, hey, not sure if you'd be interested, just completed this free guide. Let me know if you'd like a copy. And I insert the picture of the free guide cover, which is about how to use your LinkedIn profile to generate new business. Tara can say yes or no. Hey, we've got this masterclass coming up next week. How to use your LinkedIn profile to generate new business. Would you like to come? Because now I actually know whether that's a pain point that the person believes they've got and they want a solution to it. If they're a possible strategic partner, I might invite them to jump on Zoom so we can find ways to be able to share each other's networks. Hey, Tara, not sure whether you'd like to do this. Shall we jump on Zoom and see how we might be able to promote one another? Let me know what you think. But if you don't get to the invite and ask part, you're only ever going to have nice conversations. You're only ever going to have nice chit chat, as we said at the start. It is this that turns your conversations into profitable conversations. So once you're in conversations, there's your conversation flow. Now, if I'm honest here, most people will stop doing this within 30 odd days because they get bored of it. Because you're doing the same thing. Every conversation, you're really structured following the flow. And what are we as business owners? We love to be creative and outside the box and doing different things all the time. But this has been systemized on purpose. Because once you're good at it, give it to a team member to do. And then you don't have to do this bit. But to me, that's the fun bit when you're in conversations, because now you get to create opportunities with people. And as you saw, when you got to the very last bit, that's the grow part. Because now you're going to know who in your network actually wants help, believes they've got the pain point that you solve, is looking for a solution, or who actually wants to team up with you and do cross promotions or be referral sources or any of those great stuff that help grow your business also. So just before I get into this last bit, insights, questions, throw it into the chat box for me. Let me know. What's your biggest takeaway? Throw that into the chat box. And if you've got any questions, here's a great time to share it. And then I'm going to share with you how you can save a whole bunch of time doing this. So, insights, takeaways, questions, type away for me, put it into the chat box. Let's get a handful before we move into the last little bit. How do you best invite people to a paid event? The relationship has to be pretty deep. I think like there's two types of people that come to a paid event. Someone who just looks at it and goes, that is the pain point that I've been having in my head for the last week. Wow, you might be able to solve it. So they're the buy now ready people. 3% at any given time, that's it. Versus people who you are in conversation with are likely to look at it, and even if it's not exactly what they want, are likely to come simply because of the connection that's felt. So I tend to go, the more people that I'm actually in conversation with and then inviting them, the better response I get from just simply sending someone a cold message that I've had no conversation with. And we all get those, don't we? Where someone sends you a cold message going, I'm running this thing on this particular date. I'm going to show you how to X, Y, Z, and therefore you should come. It's like the only messages that I see from you are only ever copy and paste to all of your connections. Why would I bother? So I think that the key is inviting. You'll get more people coming if you actually follow the conversation flow. But at the same time, depending on the price point and depending on their pain points, you might be better off actually giving them something free and then inviting them after they get the free thing. That actually might be a better way of doing it. Yeah, good. The limbic brain versus the logical, and being a human, love it. Yeah, depending on, like most people, Barbara, when they ask their pain points, the language they use is just horrible. And I probably wouldn't respond either. It's a very limbic way that they need to be asked. And most people don't get it right, just simply because, not because they're not trying to get it right, but just simply because they're working out their language from the wrong part of their brain. And therefore they're doing it very logically. And it makes perfect sense, but it's logical. And that's why people aren't going to respond. So, and it needs to be done further down the track. It needs to be done after the connect part. Okay. Good. I need to understand. I now understand. I need to color network, and really get your ideal type of people in there. Yeah. Good. Okay. Let's do this. This is really just for people who want to see next steps, how we do it, how we use software to speed it up, and how we help our clients. There's nothing else really in terms of teaching, but if you want to see what we call our test project, then please stay with me 5-6 minutes, and I'm going to walk you through that right now. So our test project is exactly this, helping you get 2 clients in 60 days. That's exactly what it is. It is a test project for 2 months where we plug you into our software, we plug you into our training, we plug you into our accountability and mentoring, and we show you exactly what to do to be able to get clients using the system that I have just showed you. So let me share with you a couple of different things. The leverageconnections.com/test project offer will take you over to this site here. And there's the URL again, and I'll put the URL into the chat box just for anyone who wants it afterwards. Okay, so really simple. It gives you a rundown and why we do it as a test project simply for 2 months. Most people say, hey, you need to do stuff with us for 6 months or 12 months. And well, you've done nothing with us. So how do you know that we're as good as what we say we are? How do you know we're going to get the results that we say we're going to get? So I just go, you know what? Let's just simply do things for 2 months. We've got an end result. And when we get that in 2 months, then perfect. We can continue. And if we don't, we'll depart as friends. So this gives you a bit of a rundown. What I want you to simply look at is going, okay, what's a client worth to me? Okay, the client worth to you $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, whatever it is, write it down. $550 a month, 2 months, $1,100. So if 2 new clients is worth an awful lot more than $1,100, then hopefully it becomes a bit of a no-brainer for you. So we do 3 things. And when I think of our 3 things, I break it down into this. I break it down into software that saves you time, effort, and money. I'm about to show you the software. The proven system, which I've just run through with you, so anyone can use the proven system. Our genius sits in our mentoring, our training, our coaching every single week. We run our live sessions to be able to help our clients with their language and turning conversations into new business. So let me show you some of those things so you can actually see them firsthand. Okay. So our software plugs into your LinkedIn profile. The two talk to each other. It's called Leverage Connections. So the first thing we do is that we get our greetings organized. So every time someone has a job anniversary, every time someone has a birthday, every time someone has a new role, they have the message that we have created. You can create whatever message you want. So you don't have to do that every single day. It's done for you. Okay? Every one of your connections that have one of these today, get the message that you want. We then run our LinkedIn campaigns. And this is to build your $1 million network. So right now, I've got 2 campaigns running for myself, for people who are BNI members and for people who live on the Northern Beaches as a local business. Now, within those, I can set up how I want those campaigns to work. So I can engage with the profile. When we go to connect, I send them a message. When they do connect, I send them a follow-up message. And I could build this out for as long as I wanted in terms of viewing profiles, liking posts, sending messages, etc. Okay? So I now know I don't have to worry about going connect with 30 odd people every single day, because it happens automatically for me. Okay. So from there, I want to be able to use our CRM and our connections. So what takes place is all of our LinkedIn connections come over here also. These two talk to each other like every minute. So if I send messages in here, it'll show up on my LinkedIn app and vice versa. So I can see my little CRM here, all my LinkedIn connections. I can see any public information, such as their email address, such as their phone number. It's all there rather than you having to go and find that through your LinkedIn profile. I might say, for example, you know what, I'm going up to the Gold Coast in the end of the month. Let me find all my people who are on the Gold Coast, and I'm going to put them into a campaign, and I'm going to send them a message letting them know that I'm coming up to the Gold Coast at the end of August. Hey, would you like to catch up? So now I'm starting to leverage my connections better. Okay? So that software saves us a whole bunch of time with our greetings, with our connections, and being able to run campaigns that get you into conversations. From there, the members portal allows us how to be able to set things up properly, gives us the templates, gives us the how-tos, gives us the scripts and the text replacements, and it gives us everything that we need to be able to allow us to use the system properly. Okay. So as I said at the start, we just simply call this our test project. If you would like to simply have a lot of this handled for you, if you'd like to learn how to be able to really take your LinkedIn profile to a different level, if you want new clients from your LinkedIn and you would like to do it with us, there's our starting point. Okay? We get to do it for the next couple of months. If it works really well, then we are good to go. There isn't anyone that it hasn't worked really well for, so I don't need to worry about the other part. But if it didn't happen for you, hey, we depart as friends, and it's as simple as that. So a couple of questions. Let me answer those. So with the software, Tara, with the software, what considerations have gone into the ethics around the person thinking they are speaking to you when they're actually talking to the system? You are running the conversations. Like in it, you're having the conversations. Sure, I'm doing the first bit as a greeting. The system, well, yeah, the system's doing the thing. It's my message. It's what I would say. It's just not me having to type it every single day. The system's doing that. And then when you say thanks back to me, I actually pick up the message, or our team picks up the message, or whoever you have picking up the message. So To me, LinkedIn is very much H to H. Like people go B to B, B to C. Everyone's in H to H, human to human. And therefore, we want to deepen relationships with those humans. So to me, there isn't, yeah. Does that make sense? I see you. I can see you nodding. So brilliant. Okay, guys. So if that's something you'd like to talk to me about, reach back out. If it's something you know that's going to make sense and help you, leverageconnections.com/test project offer. Otherwise, really appreciate you jumping on, learning. Looking forward to getting into more conversations with you on LinkedIn. Reach out because you know I'm going to talk back to you. And you get to practice talking also, which is fantastic. Okay, guys, really appreciate you, and I'll talk to you real soon. Take care, everyone.